I'm just sitting in my car. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here. The sun is shining in from the beach. You can hear the waves. Amazing view. I just thought I'd jump on, say hello to everyone. It's been a very interesting week of new codes coming in. Downloads, extreme amount of downloads at the moment with these new frequencies, new energies coming in. And one thing we have to be aware of is how it's affecting our bodies. And it's affecting me with my chest, my coughing. It's affecting me with my breathing. It will give you heart racing, so you'll get a little bit of heart racing with it. You'll get a little of sweating. Your whole alignment will be off. It'll be like you are feeling something's moving through your body, but you just can't put your finger on it, and you feel dizzy and you feel bewildered. There's even a bit of grieving and sadness coming up with these new codes. So hi Kelly, hi Dana. So just be careful when they come in, because I had last week where I was feeling very sick for probably 2 or 3 days, but good sick, like ascension sickness. And I kept getting the message, you have to rest, you have to rest, you have to rest, to integrate these new codes. And I drew Shahara, who was Ashanti, who was one of the Palladians that is working on these new codes coming in for our crystalline bodies, to get ready to live a new earth with clear, crystal, pure, cleansed bodies. And they work in a pack of about 3 Palladians, and they're very tall, slim, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, very what I would call Northern Europe, you know, very clear, beautiful, pure, white, pearly skin. And they came in with these codes, and they said, this is what we're bringing in. You can see them. And so you can see her drawing. She's got the circles of codes through the body, and then the codes are sparking off her. And hi Mary, it's been a tough couple of weeks, that's for sure. Lots of emotions going on, absolutely. And sadness, there's a lot of sadness, and I'm not sure what the sadness is. So people have been saying to me, I feel sad. And today I felt sad this morning for some reason, and I thought, well, I've got no reason to feel sad. You know, my life is how I made it. I set myself up like this, so I can't understand it. But it's the emotional side of this upgrade that we're getting. So you kind of just have to go with the flow, I think. But she said as the codes come in, they sort of flick off you and come around you and come into your energy field and your aura. So really fascinating stuff that's going on. So just be ready for these coming in and allowing yourself to settle. Now, they're also waking people up, because they're threatening all this other stuff, you know. They're threatening a bird flu outbreak, another COVID outbreak, and with that, they're trying to keep the vibration down low, and therefore people won't receive these codes when they need to. Only certain people will receive them. A lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are passing in their sleep. People are just passing over. They can't cope. Some who are light workers can't even cope. They signed up to do so much work here, and now they just can't handle these new codes coming in. They're just deciding to go. And so a lot of people are going in their sleep, and a lot of people are choosing to give up and leave. A lot of people that have been vaccinated are now leaving. There's more coming of that as these codes come in, because their vibration can't handle it. That's the thing. Their vibration has been lowered so much that these new codes are banging them like this. bang. You know, we are light workers used to it, where we can accept it, we know what's going on, but it's hitting them like this, bang, bang. And so their hearts and their weakness in their bodies, their immune system has been so manipulated that it affects their mental ability to think, and they get to a point where they create sickness in their bodies and they choose to go. So that's what's happening there. So these codes are for our crystalline bodies. Our crystalline bodies will be more clear flowing energy, frequency, water, and no more sort of trauma in our bodies, no more stale DNA that's come through from generations. And one thing we get from our one thing we get from our mothers when they carry us, if they haven't dealt with any of their issues, trauma, that carries on to us, into our DNA, and then we have to carry it and then work through it. And see, these codes are making me cough. I've just been out by the beach and it's clearing everything. And so when we take these DNA codes on from our mothers, we have to do all that cleansing as well. So it's generational cleansing we're doing as well at the moment. And we have to be aware of that for our bodies to be accepted in that crystalline form, which is a higher frequency that they have in the galactics. And to have that, you have to live pretty clean. So I mean, by eventually we will give up chemicals of any sort. I can't get near chemicals at the moment. I can't use chemicals on my skin. I can't use it on my hair. Giving up meat. I can't eat meat anymore, any kind of meat, because I feel the frequency of the animal that's been sacrificed, and I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel their body. I don't want to feel their pain. I don't want to know that they have been raised, fed, force-fed, fattened up for greed. And so I can't eat meat, and most of it is full of parasites, and these parasites are what are causing the cancers in our body, and they're causing inflammation, they're causing all sorts of issues within our body, and this is how they're getting to us. If they're not vaccinating us, they're putting it in our food source, our fruit, our vegetables, our meat. So we're going back to an old way where we're going to grow our own food. Your lungs sing clear. Mine are clearing as well at the moment. Yeah, this is that new cleansing energy frequency coming through, and it's making you feel lighter, and so therefore it's making your head feel a bit lighter too. You'll feel like you're a bit dizzy. I know I have been. Gosh, that sun coming in is just beautiful. I'll show you shortly. The beach here is snowing on it. It's just such a beautiful beach. So that's all about the frequency, the energies, and our crystalline bodies getting upgrades. We're going to be doing in our group a crystalline body activation shortly. It's based on 2 different sections, your top chakras and your bottom chakras, and at the moment they're keeping that separated. So your body is in a position of feeling divided. It's not supporting each part of the body, and this is why people are getting sick, because they have been playing with our chakras, our crystalline bodies, and you have this divide in the middle. I do have a drawing of how they described it to me, and how we have to come back as one big diamond through our body. Once we've got, because we're divided in our bodies, top half, lower half, that gap is creating disease in our body. And to get pure again into that crystalline alignment, you have to live a certain way to get back to it. They've been vaccinating parasites into our bodies since we were born, and these parasites are the ones that are causing all our asthma, eczema, diabetes, inflammation, arthritis, cancers, brain tumours, all sorts of things. And that's coming to an end as well. A couple of other things I wanted to talk about this week. I've been getting downloads about the airlines and international travel. That's all coming to a stage where they're going to start changing it. Rules, laws around travel, and there's half the planes are not full. They're going to start selling off seats really, really cheap. So leave it to the last minute to book your flights, because if they haven't sold all the seats in a flight, there'll be special sites that you can go to and pick your seats for a quarter of the price. You'll be able to get business class on the last minute day before you fly out to travel the world for a quarter of the price, or just a normal economy seat. This is what's going to be happening, because the travel is changing for New Earth as well. Eventually passports will go and we'll be free citizens. Of course, at the moment you've got a lot of people out there doing the whole fear factor thing around digital ID, and they're pushing it in Australia. But it's not a bad thing, because you've got to know how it's all working. So what they're doing, and if you remember back in 1967 when we changed currencies, they withdrew all money off the market. Here in New Zealand, we had a day where or a week where you had to go into the bank and you had to hand all loose cash and coins in so they could bring out the new currency. So what they're doing with this digital ID is closing down banks, because banks are basically broke. And they're going to print a new rainbow currency, which some banks already have in their vaults. But to remove all money around the world that's in circulation, they have to do it this way. And so what they're going to do is do it so that you don't use any notes, no money, nothing, because it's not worth anything. Let's face it, it's a fiat dollar that is given a worth from the bankers. The new currency will come out and it will be released with the backing of gold and silver, mostly gold. But they have to remove all, and you're talking worldwide, currencies off the market, and they have to do it step by step by step by step. Now the digital ID is getting set up to go through Starlink, so it can't be hacked. So it'll be your own digital folder connected to the digital folders that they have already set up for us on Jupiter. And in those folders they have all your information, all your banking information, tax information, lay-by, mortgages, everything that you've paid for that has been illegal. So tax, we shouldn't be getting tax, insurance, mortgages, everything that you've paid out is in those files. And when Jasara comes in, you'll be getting a percentage back, and all your banking information is there, and it just gets switched over from the digital ID to the Jupiter ID. And so this is what they've been showing me, and I actually went on a mission to Jupiter, and I got a big message this morning that Jupiter is having a big meeting this week. So some of us will be going on missions during the night to Jupiter. And it's really interesting because Westbank in Australia is closing their doors. Now Westbank's quite a big bank. I just got to open the window, but it's a bit hot in here. Oh, here comes a motorbike. A Harley. So Westbank is connected to Commonwealth Bank, one of the biggest banks in Australia, and Commonwealth Bank is connected to ASB here in New Zealand, which is the Australian Savings Bank. So when you move between New Zealand and Australia, you can just transfer your money over and open an account straight away. So that's what I did. I went from ASB to Commonwealth Bank, and then Commonwealth Bank back, and I left my ASB open, and then when I came back here, I've always used my ASB. So they have all your information and everything connected. And then what happens is it's all up in these accounts in Jupiter. And so they've decided to start in the smaller section of the world, like New Zealand and Australia, and get us to slowly get used to this so that we can then hand all our notes and money in and be able to say, right, we're all clear now, we're ready to go, bring out the rainbow currency. Now, I remember when I was about 6 years old and we all had to take our coins and pennies into the bank when we changed over to the dollar. And everyone was the same as they are now. People just forget. They're in an uproar about the change, and all the conspiracy theorists and everyone came out, and oh God, it was a nightmare. It's just the same now. But what they don't realise is this is part of the Jasara and the new rainbow currency coming, that is backed by gold, and you will not be taxed on it because it's backed by gold. It's not a fake fiat plastic money dollar. So that's happening this week. That's happening a lot actually around the world. So there's a few updates like that happening, which is really exciting because you can see the changes coming. And don't fear the change, because don't listen to people that are still in the 3D matrix living in fear and fear and worried about their money and they're going to lose everything. The light has won. The dark has gone. So they're not going to hurt you. They're not going to put you through any more pain than you have to go through. You've been through hell already. You've got to remember, this is for the good, not the bad. You have the rainbow currency yet. And the security guard looked at me and he, who's this woman in here asking about the rainbow currency? And then this person came flying out from the back door and said, excuse me, ma'am, what are you talking about? And I said, the rainbow currency. I know you've all been, told to not say anything. You've signed non-disclosures, I said, but it's here, isn't it? And instead of saying no or yes, their answer was, I can't say. So you see, it's here. It's already here. It's already been printed. It's here. That's why they had to go in and get the gold from the Vatican, because that gold is going to back our new dollar. But people forget, people forget that we went through this once before and we went to the dollar. People forget about the vaccine. People forget what happened when the government told all the women that they could take this certain medicine for their morning sickness, and they had these babies born with no arms and legs. And I went to school with most of those children. They only had heads and torsos, or little limbs and everything, and that was because the government told their mothers while they were pregnant, this is fine for your morning sickness. And so we just lived through all that again. The government telling you these vaccines were safe. Now look what's coming out. No, it's not. Look at the blood clots. Look at the deaths. Da. So that's what's happening there. It's all about stuff slowly coming out. It's a show. It's a movie. What you're watching. And I can guarantee you, by the end of this year, there's going to be massive change. And don't fear anything. It's just all good. But the next threat is bird flu and another COVID outbreak. And it's really funny because I've been just down at the supermarket and people are walking around with masks again. And I was like, did you not learn the first time? So just thought I'd jump on, give you a little bit of an update about what's been going on with these new codes, new frequencies, digital currency update on all of that, banks collapsing, yes. And also, what they're going to do next. They're panicking. They're trying to tell you, oh, we'll do this again, test the public, see how awake they are. Can we do it again, or are we able to give them more reveals that they can handle now? Because a lot of people can handle more reveals as they wake up. There's a lot more people waking up than you think and questioning things, but there's also a lot of people choosing to go and are dying. A lot of people are dying in their sleep at the moment. It's becoming more and more common that people are just passing, young people are passing in their sleep, and that's because their soul contract was to leave. They can't handle this frequency. They didn't come in to create new earth. They came in to teach their parents something and then leave, because the parents are doing their journey. As I said, they spread, the mother passes all her trauma and unresolved issues and healing that needed through to their child while they're carrying them. And so those children come and they teach their parents something, and then they go, and the parents do the learning or the changing or whatever. So that's what's happening there, because a lot of them can't handle, they didn't want to be here, they can't handle the frequency. And it is hard. It's even me, who's gone through a lot of upgrades and do a lot of channeling and a lot of light work and a lot of missions and work with the galactics and the elementals and the ascended masters. I struggled this week, I really did. And the nauseous, it was like altitude sickness. And this is what's coming in. So these are very strong ascension codes coming in, and as you'll see my drawing down, you'll see that she brought these Palladians and bringing them through, because the Palladian star system is very close to Earth right now. We're going into an era of the Maori New Year, which is called Matariki here in New Zealand. The Matariki is when the Palladian star system is at closest to Earth, so they can come in and they can work with us. And it's interesting because the Aboriginals of Australia and the New Zealand Maoris of time gone by know about the Palladians and speak about them all the time. They knew about them, they were working with them. And so they come in really, really close around Matariki. So yeah, they're just some of the updates that I'm giving today. And but it's all good, it's all exciting, and we've been doing a lot of work in our group with activations, plant-based medicine that's coming in now. We're working with the dimensions, the ley lines, the grid work. There's a lot of cleansing still to be done of Earth, a lot of frequency cleansing, and it's changing. I just took a photo of Kapiti Island and how close it is to the land now. And since I've been here in the last year, less than a year, it's moved in closer. So Earth is compressing herself. She's coming in smaller. New Earth is going to be so small. There's going to be less people. Smaller, and most coastlines and places are going to disappear. A lot of places are going to go underwater like Atlantis did. You've got big cities going underwater, especially Sydney, London, New York. They're getting ready to go underwater. Vancouver, they're all going to go under. They're going to sink. And this is why we're advised to go grow our own food. Talking about, what I was talking about, the parasites in our food and the way they've been poisoning us and making us sick. We need to go back to growing our own food and moving out of these big centres. So a lot is changing. And I've been talking to the group about a couple of other things, and one thing I did discover, and I looked at it really one day and it came to me really, really clear. And I was like, what is going on here? And then I realized marriage is a ritual. And I went, that makes so much sense. Okay, so what they do is they have a groom and they have a bride. They have an altar. You go through the church to the altar. An altar is for sacrifice. Altars are for doing spell casting, that kind of thing. So you go to the altar as a bride with the bridegroom. The groom is to groom the bride to be his slave, to enslave her. Bridegroom. And it came to me, this is why a lot of marriages fail. Only the strong marriages survive, because they push through that. They make it work. And that's why they always make this whole thing out about being in a white dress, being a virgin, going to the altar, because that's what they do. They sacrifice virgins, children. And so they want to do that. And then the marriage becomes a license, a certificate that becomes registered with the government through marriages, births and deaths. And it becomes a bond, just like your birth certificate. And so therefore they are making money of you when you're married. That's why this whole big fallacy about marriage is programming. They want you to feel this way. You must get married and spend all this money and then get that certificate so they can now create a bond against your relationship. Since when did a third party enter a marriage? The government, that is. So you see, this is what that's all about. And in New Earth, it won't be that way. It'll be unions, and you'll just have your tribes, and you'll just celebrate. You go down the beach, and you make a commitment, or, you know, it won't be this big programming and having licenses and having bonds off it and that kind of thing. So this is all changing as well. And I saw that very clearly, and I thought, why is he called the bridegroom? Now remember, the English words is spell casting. You learn to do spelling, spell casting. So when you put a word out there, that's why you've got to be careful how you speak, because you create spells. You put bad frequency energy onto you. That's why you've got to speak to yourself kindly. So you've got bride, groom. The groom of the bride, the grooming of the bride. The bride is taken to the altar to be slaughtered. In other words, to be sacrificed as a slave. It's really interesting. Now, it's like libraries, the room of buried lies. Library, the room of buried lies. It's all lies. And so you have to be very careful the way that you look at things and understand how they've been tricking us and programming us for so long. And this came to me so clearly this week, and I was like, now I see it. That's why so many people are constantly searching for the love of their life, which you're never going to find. And, you know, you'll be very lucky if you do. Or they have this whole programming, twin flame, soulmate. It's all programming to keep you in lower dimensional and to keep you searching, to be sad, to be unhappy. And most twin flames, so what happens is they have one soul at the beginning of creation, and they split you. That soul goes there, and sometimes you come together and you have a life together. Other times you don't. Most of the time you don't, because creating what they're trying to do here, they need one over here balancing on this side of Earth and one on this side of Earth balancing, because they're both mirroring each other. So quite often you don't come together at all. So this is keeping you in that whole searching. Oh, I've got to have my twin flame, I've got to have my soulmate. It doesn't always work that way either, guys. Anyway, that's my little update today, and I'm just going to show you where I am. So, this is the beach, and I've just been over there and walking. And I'll show you. There's the sun coming in over the island. Isn't it beautiful? Just stunning, guys. Alright, so have a beautiful week and stop fearing anything. Everything is good, everything is lovely, and these new frequencies are making you have a better body. Take care, much love, much light.